Good morning guys, I'm J0k, and in this video I'm gonna talk to you about my preparations for the monthly cup. I'm very happy and proud to be voted in to the monthly cup again. Thank you everyone who voted for me. So in this video I will try to explain my deck choices and walk you through my decks and my predictions. So after I wrote down a list of decks that I thought I might face, I talked to some other strong players like Minokaro and Nightingale about what they expect to see. And after that I felt pretty confident that I would be facing a mono blue jump or river list, a yellow tempo list like yellow events, and some type of Runin the Relentless deck either in mono green or Crackthorn. My first thought was to try to play some combo deck. I started practicing a little bit of Aurora Disciple OTK after seeing Aquablad's card spotlight, and I also had the idea to play my Voice of Hunger deck that I absolutely love, but since all the decks that I'm predicting to face would have very efficient ways to deal with these threats, like Frogify, Mirror Phantasm, Last Nightmare, Voice of Truth, I just decided that I cannot go with those combo decks. So now, if you've seen me stream or compete before, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of playing the popular decks, but I really do want to win this tournament and I will try. So what can I do to beat these three decks that I'm expecting to see? My red fatigue control deck has been doing really well on the ladder against both yellow events and blue jump, since I have good ways of dealing with their 4 health creatures and I can out harvest or at least keep up with my opponent's harvesting thanks to all my neutral creatures and all my removal. The deck do however almost always lose against Runin decks, and I've had problems to pressure the Dream Reavers quickly enough. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with my red deck, and I think people who voted for me wants to, or maybe even expects to see something like that from me. So I did make a couple of changes and I'm feeling pretty good about it. So if I do run mono red as one of my decks, I'd have yellow, green and blue left. I've never played Crackthorn or Runin, and they are both pretty vulnerable to blue, I believe, so I think I would rather bring yellow and blue. I don't want to bring a yellow event deck this time around because it feels pretty expected. Besides, Yellow Rush is probably the deck that I'm most comfortable with in Faeria right now. I have a lot of experience with it and I feel like I have pretty good chances against blue jump with it now that Aurora Mythmaker is 3 lakes. Playing against yellow events can be tricky, but it's definitely not unwinnable. And yeah, playing against green or Crackthorn however is really hard. So if I would bring mono red and Yellow Rush, I have 2 decks that I feel like it can beat yellow events and blue with. I still struggle against green, especially Runin. So for my last deck I would have to run blue. I think blue jump is really strong right now. I've seen Aquablad stream it quite a lot and it's been doing very well. Before I got voted in, I had actually never played it myself. But I've been practicing and by now I feel like I can pilot it fairly well. I'm absolutely terrified of the mirror matchup because it's such a complex deck, especially the mirror, and I have very little experience with it. And having a good opening hand is so important. Like the first few turns can either set you really far ahead or lose you the game basically, and misplays are very punishing in the blue mirror. Now let's take a look at the red fatigue control deck that I used as a base for my mono red. As you can see, I did make a couple of changes. I removed the 3 Voice of Truth. Voice of Truth was mostly in the deck to help me deal with Soul Eaters, but I don't think people will run Sack this season because of all the answers that blue, yellow and green have, so I don't think I need the Voice of Truth in this list. And I removed 1 Firestorm because most of the threats that I'm imagining that I will face, they will have more than 3 health anyway, and that's the Windstorm Chargers, the Gabriel Archons, Trident Warriors, Colossi. Yeah. I also removed 3 Flame Bursts because of the same reason. 3 damage is not quite enough. I added 1 more Hunted Outlaw because they are excellent harvesters and they can fight back the 4/4 creatures my opponent might play. 4/4 creatures are incredibly popular right now. I also added 2 Emperor's Command to help me deal with Forbidden Libraries, and of course they also give me the option to maybe remove a creature or give me a better trade, or I could use it as a heal. I added 2 Horse Masters to help me be aggressive once I've survived the early stages of the game, because this deck is incredibly slow, but usually, or hopefully I should say, I will have a strong board lead, and then I just need to get my creatures into position to be aggressive. So that's what the Horse Masters are for. I also added 2 underground bosses because the 5 health body is incredibly good, and the 3 health is enough so it can deal with water elementals and Battletoads, and the 5 health allows me to attack and still survive Archons and Trident Warriors, so the combat effect will of course help me out a lot. So those are the changes. Let's talk about the rest of the cards. I got Hold the Line, which is probably my favorite card in this whole deck. It's just brilliant. I actually really like to have it in my opening hand. It's so versatile. Having 2/3 harvesting between the wells early on, it's quite nice. Especially if I have, pick up the fire bombs, and so I can just remove the threats that my opponent is threatening to take out my harvesters with. I got the Hunted Outlaw, I talked about that, I talked about the Emperor's Command. Plague Bearer, 3 of them. Also a brilliant card. So Plague Bearer is actually a 4 damage guy in disguise that also happen to clear all your Battletoads. Plague Bearer is it's just so good, I feel, against blue, and it can be very good against other colors as well. So I got 3 of the Plague Bearers, then I got the removal, the triple Cypher's Wrath, the fire bombs. We talked about the underground boss. We got 3 Bomb Slingers. Bomb Slingers are also 4 damage removals. That then also leaves a 4 damage creature on the board to help deal with another 4 health threat. Cypher Blood Tyrant is just a very powerful card that they are forced to deal with. Triple Ground Shakers. I got 1 Firestorm and 1 Garridan. I'm not entirely sure about running Firestorm and Garridan. When I've been playing on ladder, they've been really helpful many times, but I'm expecting the opponents in the monthly cup to perhaps play around those cards a little bit more. Alright, so that's my red fatigue control deck. My yellow rush list is based on my budget free-to-play yellow rush. I find it incredibly powerful still. I did, however, make one adjustment. I removed 1 Choking Sands because there are very few targets in blue, and I added a wind gate instead. And wind gate is so incredibly powerful if you have it in your opening hand, especially if you manage to get it in combination with an air elemental. And wind gate can also be used to just protect your valuable creatures. You can protect your orb with it, or you can put it between your creatures or an enemy taunt. You could also put the wind gate, you know, closer to your orb to summon creature next to your orb to make a double block, because you usually don't have the deserts near your orb when you play Yellow Rush. The cards that maybe stand out are the Doomsday. I'm running Doomsday basically to have at least give it a chance to win against green, to win against Crackthorn, sometimes against the Blue Reaver that happens to get a really good start. And I also do run one Deathwalker, so if they have like one big threat, I can still clear it without using Doomsday. My blue jump list is based on Aquablad's Season 15 10 to God blue jump list. I only did 2 changes. I removed 1 Campfire and 1 Emperor's Command to add 2 Shifting Tides. And the reason why I added the Shifting Tides were that I feel like with this deck, if you have a movement trick in the early game and can make a good trade, like on turn 3, it's just so powerful. And you can also use it to help you get into the Mystic Beast spot. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just a big fan of Shifting Tide, and I felt like when I've been using it, it's been working out real well for me. So yeah, thank you very much, Aquablad. After figuring out which 3 decks I want to use, I have to think about which order do I want to use the decks in. In Pantheon it works like this. You set one deck as your starting deck and you have to always start with that. So I was thinking, if I start with my red control deck, I will have a pretty good chance against both yellow and blue, but I would likely lose to green. If I would start with Yellow Rush, I think I would have a pretty good chance against blue and decent chance against yellow, but I would likely lose to green. If I would start with blue, I mean, I don't want to start with blue, because if I would then lose against their blue or yellow, then I wouldn't have any deck that I am comfortable with to beat green. So I also don't think a lot of people will start with green, because there's so much blue going on right now. I think blue is probably the most popular deck, so I think I'm going to start with red, and hopefully I will be able to take 1 or 2. I mean, probably only 1 if they then pick their green deck in response to my victory, hopefully, and then I can play my blue, take out their green, and then whatever they bring I have to try to beat with my blue, and if that doesn't work, my Yellow Rush. Yeah, so that's gonna be my order. So wish me luck.
We'll have to see who progresses in round 1, but for the first match today, like Cappuccino said, 2 community favorites. We have J0k3se going up against Killing Time. Where do you even start with this matchup, Cappuccino?
Oh man, it's hard because I've known J0k and KT for a while now in the Faeria scene, and you know, J0k's played anything from Mill to like Meteor Red to so many different variations of decks. So I could predict him going anywhere in this tournament. And KT, I think he plays a little bit more traditional decks with like the green-red Crackthorn, you know, the mid-range decks. So, you know, I'm not sure who's going to be favored here, but I'm pretty certain we'll see some exciting matches for sure.
And J0k, of course, being the puzzle master as well with his Faeria puzzles, getting us involved in that as well. But yeah, let's get into this game, guys. J0k versus Killing Time. And the commentators today are going to be Cappuccino, Zolagrim, Shotgun, and Superb Lizard. But to start things off, we're going to have Superb and Shotgun take it away. So, get into the match, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Aqua. At the same time. Hey, I'm Shotgun. With me is Superb Lizard. How is it going, Superb?
I'm doing great. I can't wait for this match to start. And
here you should have said it was going superb. you missed it. You already missed it.
I missed out on a golden opportunity right there.
Yeah, but hopefully we won't miss any golden opportunities with this upcoming match because, oh man, I can't wait for this one. J0k3se versus KT, or Killing Time, or the K and the T, separate letters, however you want to call him. But let's just call him KD because that's how he's known in the community. Let's get this match underway.
And hopefully only it will stay that way, that the opportunities to make punts will be the only thing that's going to be missed and not lethals. I really hope for both of the players.
Indeed.
We'll see some top quality gameplay here. So what do you think about J0k3se? He's been a staple of the community. Is he going to bring a more traditional?
Yeah, he's my fellow moderator, and he's generally not someone who plays traditional decks. As you can see, he's playing a red deck with a Plague Bearer and Bomb Sling. It could actually be a mill deck. He is known for his mill decks, and generally he likes to run red decks in it. While in the meantime, Killing Time is playing yellow, and yeah, that's the Hunted Outlaw. Already 2 decks that you generally don't see in the meta nowadays. Well, mill you never really see because it's not that good. But Rush from Killing Time, the old school yellow Rush, including an Imperial Drain. What do you think of this?
It's funny though. I've been messing around with Imperial Drain and Yellow Rush myself, and it's basically a combination of using Imperial Drain and abusing Wisdom plus Soul Pack to cycle your deck, so you get to your core cards faster. But actually, against J0k3se's mill deck, I think this might be a very bad idea, because the faster you're milling yourself, the easier it is going to be for J0k.
Yeah, but the other point is that J0k3se's deck, he is all about time. Like, he needs to be able to survive, and if KT manages to have a good quick start, and here we're probably going to see the Imperial Drain coming down here, but if KT has a good quick start, then J0k3se will probably be in a lot of trouble, and especially because J0k3se will be giving cards to KT, something that Yellow Rush generally has a problem with, card draw.
Yeah, well, I was just suggesting that the Wisdom card draw could be a little bit too much for Killing Time to handle if he is reckless with it, but I'm sure he'll manage it fine. So Imperial Drain does not come down, and Killing Time having a hard time actually not finding any haste creatures besides the Wind Soldier stuck in his hand. Do you think he'll go for Wind Soldier Prayer just to get it out of his hand and cycle?
To be honest, I kind of think he needs to. He can't wait for too long because the more longer he waits, the more defenses KT can set up. Actually, he's going for the Wind Soldier Soul Drain on the Hunted Outlaw to draw the cards. And it's another... Oh, this is really bad for KT.
Yeah. It's looking a little rough with double prayer in hand and no haste unit to trigger them.
Yeah, and J0k3se has a hand filled with removal that he really doesn't want to play right now. Like, he can potentially play the Plague Bearer on an empty board, which is okay if he can just get a Faeria with it, but he also wants to really use it to clear all the creatures from, that KT will eventually, hopefully, put down. The Windgate! Oh my god. This is the problem with Yellow Rush. He gets a Daring Adventure. Also not a really good card. He might be forced to still play it, though.
Just to get a 2/2 on the field?
Yeah, he needs something. He can't wait.
Must feel bad against Red, though, playing a 2/2.
Yeah, and this is the problem with Yellow Rush. Sometimes you just get a dead draw. You can't do anything. You just get all your prayers, all your drains. And J0k3se even has a hold the line, which is great against Yellow Rush, because those 2 free taunts are pretty difficult to remove efficiently. And it heals. Though he does really need to heal, but I would think that he's going to put one of those Imperial Guards between those wells.
It looks like it, yeah. And he already saw a Wind Soldier come down, so you can safely assume that maybe he's going to protect this Imperial Guard for a bit, and it's not gonna lose his life so soon.
Yeah, but even if KT has another Wind Soldier, he needs to double land, which means that he can't draw any cards.
Yeah, that's true.
And right now,
I think actually this is looking great for killing time, for J0k3se, I think.
Yeah,
he's drawing so much now, and I think the mill strategy against the Yellow Rush deck is going to work out.
Well, he finally drew a creature that is at least a little bit beefier than the Daring Adventure. Now, he can play the Daring Adventure as a 4/4, which he is going to do. And he's going to play the Waryak. But as we can see in J0k3se's hand, he has the Bomb Slinger and also draws a Firebomb, though I bet we're just going to see the Bomb Slinger here.
Yeah, so it's probably Mountain Bomb Slinger, and then next turn he's going to be able to clear the Waryak as well. Now the question is, does he play into the second Daring Adventurer?
Yeah, that's the only issue with going with Bomb Sling instead of a Firebomb, is that he will be playing into the Daring Adventurer, and well, if he moves his Imperial Guard away to the left to basically not play into another Daring Adventurer, then his Bomb Sling is just open to this Waryak.
Well, there's still the taunt, and I think J0k3se is planning on killing the Waryak with the Bomb Sling as well. But yeah, so here, very nice play.
This Imperial Guard. He is going to... Oh, he moved it up. I actually missed that one. But Killing Time could just double land and still play the Daring Adventurer.
What's more likely
He's not going to do that, though. He is going to opt for the Orodra Monk play to get that to get a Prey online, which is better move.
And we see the Demon Wrangler pick up. What a great draw!
And we see the new effect.
Oh yeah, the particles have been added to the prayer and a few other cards. One of my favorite cards is the Falcon Dive. I doubt it's going to see much play because of the Emperor's Command, but man, it looks great having an actual bird come down on the
I actually never seen it.
You never did?
No, I've since the new patch, I haven't seen anyone play Falcon Dive, so I've never seen it. So now I wonder what it looks like.
Well, it's great for the
check
animation.
It out later tonight.
You should. I'd only for that reason, I'd recommend everyone to run 3 copies of Falcon Dive.
But yeah, to be honest, this is one thing. The Imperial Drain has done a lot of work for KT in the meantime.
Yeah, this Imperial Guard.
A lot of area.
It's been 3 Faeria spent on nothing at the moment for J0k3se, and that's a problem. So very nice timing with the Imperial Drain there from Killing Time.
This is the power. This is also one of the powers of Yellow Rush. Once it gets online, it can go quickly. Now, J0k3se is thinking about just playing the Plague Bearer. Perhaps he can also +1 Faeria and ciphers his own Plague Bearer, but I don't think that's a good thing to do. Now he's going to cipher the Orodra Monk. Ciphering your own Plague Bearer is just, he would only kill the Monk anyways.
The tedious drain comes down, so next turn Imperial Guard will be able to double collect, and actually that's not looking too bad for J0k3se. Yes, the Bomb Slinger in hand to retaliate, and if Killing Time extends into AoE, there might even be the possibility of playing Firestorm.
Yeah, indeed, and this Plague Bearer is turning out to be quite a nuisance right now, because if he plays another creature, He can play a Daring Adventurer, but that will just get killed off by the Plague Bearer, leaving him only with a 4/1 Waryak. He can also play the Shaitan Demon, but same problem. Yeah, so he's just going to first trade in and then play the follower and get another prey off and see what he gets.
Yeah.
So now suddenly Katie is ahead again, and he can even Demon Wrangler this follower and play the demon.
Yeah, and this is looking quite scary for J0k all of a sudden.
Yeah, but J0k3se does have the Firestorm, which he can play. He can also play another Bomb Slinger if he likes.
I'd imagine we see the Firestorm here.
I would think that he would probably go for something like a Hunted Outlaw maybe, or a Bomb Slinger. I don't think going for the Firestorm is a good idea right now. Because that would still leave you open to 5 in the face.
Yeah. It would give you the possibility to draw into another removal for the demon, though.
Yeah, so J0k3se is thinking
or
about...
if J0k plays Ground Shaker, that would also be an answer. So he decides to go for the Bomb Slinger.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Demon Wrangler's gonna be able to trade into that next turn. And a third prayer coming down for killing time.
Yeah, he drew all his prayers. At the start, they weren't good, but right now they are paying off. And another Shaitan Demon, which is a big problem for J0k3se. Because, again, the Firestorm can't kill it off.
Yeah.
Now, he does have a Firebomb, so he can delay it, but there's still this pesky Demon Wing.
Yeah, Demon being a very staple in Yellow Rush for a long time, and even making its way into the Yellow Temple.
Oh, and he can get the Waryak online.
Yeah, and that's also another great card. I haven't really seen much of the Waryak, but I think Salugi, Killing Time's teammate, played a lot of Yellow Rush with the Waryak, and it's nice to see Yak in the meta.
Well, it's nice to see any Yaks in the meta. By the way, if you got the better Twitch TV app, there are some Faeria emotes for this channel only, and one of them is called Lil Yak. You might have seen it come by in the chat a couple of times, so can I get a Lil Yak hype? I'll see it in 10 minutes if it worked. Anyways, in the meantime, J0k3se is in quite a pickle here. Although he can Firebomb and Cypher's Wrath this turn. Wait, why would he Firebomb? Never mind, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, so what's likely going to happen is probably a Cypher's Wrath on the Demon Wing.
And I bet he's also going to play the Hunted Outlaw.
Well,
it's just in front of that Waryak. Because next turn, if Katie attacks into that Hunted Outlaw with his Waryak, then he can't kill it off instantly, so he needs something else, and J0k3se already got the follow-up. Now,
yeah.
Katie did get the Soul Drain.
The question is, so, is he clearing the 2/1, or is he clearing the Hunted Outlaw? Because the Hunted Outlaw is gonna give him a card advantage as well, and the Faeria advantage.
Indeed, and well, I think he should just go all in on the Hunted Outlaw.
Yeah.
And he also drew the Crusader, which is right now 6/6 for Faeria 6/6, not bad.
Yeah,
although it ain't for Faeria 7/7.
But we all know the potential of the infamous Zealous Crusader, really a staple in Yellow Rush for a long time. And
Indeed.
It has been quite scary for some time. Back in the day, it used to be gain 2+2/+2 each time you attack a god. And those Crusaders were getting out of hand pretty easily.
Yep. But it was also great fun to just draw that Giant Crusader, just poke that orb a couple of times and then draw a Giant Crusader, put it down, and watch your opponent cry.
It's the same satisfaction with drawing a Soul Eater or drawing a massive Firebringer. You want to hear those ding ding dings when you top deck the card, and that makes you feel good.
Indeed, now
Okay,
J0k3se is just going for the Cypher's Wrath play. Killing that Waryak. And KT, well, he has two options. He can either play the Demon, which dies to the Haunted Outlaw, or he can play the Zealous Crusader. However, if J0k3se has another form of removal, like a Firebomb, or like he has in his hand, or a Flame Burst, or maybe his third Cypher's Wrath, because only two got played, didn't it?
Yeah, only two. And we
And
see
that-
the Zealous, yeah.
Yeah, and that Zealous is most likely just going to get destroyed. It will put back J0k3se a little bit, because it will give KT that extra card draw and give him that 2 extra Faeria. And in the meantime, he will only be on 1 Faeria left. So it's not the best. He might just draw for that third Cypher's Wrath. It's 1 in a 15 chance.
Yeah.
But we also got to remember, KT is actually on 8 cards left.
So the milling is working.
He is running out of time.
This might be a game where actually it comes down to who can make the most out of his cards on board. Because as of now, killing time is limited. I don't think he runs more than 2 Crusaders. Usually you don't. Some versions of Yellow Rush even only run 1 Crusader. So that means if J0k3se can deal with the board as it is right now, he might be actually to win this game just by outvaluing and having more cards to play at his disposal.
We also got to remember that KT only played 1 monk so far, which attacked once into the orb. So,
Yes.
and those monks will just draw him more cards, which I don't think he kind of wants anymore.
Yeah, not exactly the kind of...
And he's running out of time. He's drawing and gets the bomb slinger. Is he quick enough? He says a well played. No, he's not quick enough.
Ah, damn. Yeah.
That was indeed a mistake. He waited too long.
I'm not gonna blame him though.
He shouldn't have
myself...
emoted.
Well, shit. Let me show you what that looked like from my perspective.
I myself am quite the roper, so this
I'm a very
happens
quick.
to me.
I'm the opposite. I'm a very quick player. Perhaps too quick.
Well,
So yeah, I'm the guy that complains like, oh, he's roping again. God damn it. Just play. It's not that hard. Just play that 1 card. Now, Katie is playing a Daring Adventure in a very good spot.
yeah. J0k3se getting massively punished for not hitting into that Zealous Crusader last turn.
Indeed. A Cypher, not really that useful here. Now, he can he actually clear both of these? He can clear both of these. But that would mean sacrificing both his creatures and being left with 0 Faeria.
Yeah.
Or 1 if he +1s, but...
It's not looking great. I mean, there's also the alternative of just clearing the Zealous Crusader with the Bomb Slinger and then dropping a Cypher, perhaps.
Yeah,
Or
but that does leave him open for another Soul Drain or a Wind Soldier.
Yeah. I mean, it's a greedy play, but on the other hand, Killing Time is on 7 cards left in the deck, and it's very likely that he's gonna find it.
Well, he draws and gets assigned Horsemaster, which it's a great card, just not in this situation.
Yeah. Really wanted another Cypher's Wrath here, perhaps.
Now he is going to just go for the full board clear, and Katie getting the follower, drawing the follower.
Yeah.
But yeah, J0k3se has to clear their Daring Adventure because he can't let it hit his orb.
Yeah,
That would be game.
and he realized that.
Oh, there's the pinging from the Zealous Crusader, and it's a 7/7, and I think probably going to be an 8/8 because he is going to play that follower, hit the orb another time.
Yeah.
and then play the Crusader. And I don't think J0k3se can do anything about this.
Yeah, these explosive turns are what Yellow Rush is known for. Granted, though, he got a little help with the Hunted Outlaw there from J0k3se, but
Yep, and that is
Yes.
GG. That's
yeah,
game 1.
that's the first game.
Yeah, so sadly the mill deck of J0k3se didn't pan out. He at the start it was going great, but to be honest, those Imperial Drains just wrecked him. It saved Katie so much Faeria.
Yeah, I really gotta say.
Now, what do
But-
you think J0k3se will bring to his next match against this?
I'm fairly certain that he won't be able to bring Red Rush. Red Rush was another favorite deck of his. I don't know if
Yeah.
you heard his Red Rush song, but it's been quite popular among the YouTubers and the meme pit in the Discord channel.
Well, I think this is
This is the mirror.
well,
Yeah.
it's either mirror or it is a flyers, because some flyers do also run prayer.
Really?
Yeah, because you generally can be very aggressive, very quick with flyers.
I
Because
guess
they
yeah.
have so much mobility.
If you use the charged units, but this is great for J0k3se here. He has
no, it is rush.
a great start with Air Elemental, and he blocks off killing time here.
Well, he has the air elemental in his hand, and
Yeah.
he hasn't seen Katie play any air elementals in his deck, and Katie has drawn a lot of cards. So I bet what we're going to see is just next turn J0k3se is just going to make a desert, play the wind gate, move the wind gate. Oh, actually, yeah, move the wind gate because you can activate structures on the turn it's played, and play the elemental very aggressively
Yeah,
next to the orb.
but here we have the follower as well, which is going to be massive.
Yeah,
for
especially with
J0k3se.
the prayer.
Getting the first hit advantage, triggering the prayer, it's gonna be huge. And Imperial Drain, not looking to do much this game.
Oh, and he gets a monk. He
Wow.
can't play really well. He can actually play it this turn by
Yeah.
spending 0 Faeria and moving his elemental and another monk. This is actually really good for J0k3se.
Wow, what a great turn.
Now,
Yeah.
KT has an Imperial Drain, which really doesn't help him that much. It can save him from that elemental collecting or perhaps that follower collecting, but yeah, it doesn't do that much. And
Yeah.
he has to remove one of these creatures, and it's most likely going to be the air elemental, even though that Oradra monk is also a very juicy target. You can also just play the Daring Adventurer and have a full Faeria 6/6.
I mean, sure he can remove that elemental, but he's so far away from J0k3se's orb. It's actually quite annoying for him having to deal with the land block. And at the moment, I don't.
Right. Yeah, right now I think that KT needs to stabilize before he can go on the offensive.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's gonna be hard.
Indeed, it is. Now he also does have the choking sands, which can also deal with the monk. And he's going to just use the Imperial Drain just to block off access to his orb by one more creature.
Yeah.
Now, if
So-
you would, would you think about just killing off that Imperial Drain and playing the monk?
I don't think so, because as it is right now, J0k3se is blocked from hitting from this middle spot, but he is also free to just play anything on the left side uncontested, and that means he could, for example, drop a demon there, and at this point, there's no way for killing time to clear the demon. So that means that's a guaranteed 5 damage to face next turn. And if you consider using Monk on the tower, that's even 7 damage next turn to face. That's going to be guaranteed. So yeah, I think with this play, Killing Time.
Well-
Killing Time gained himself the advantage to block off one attack path, but he also locked himself out of clearing that demon.
Indeed, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's not just going to make a desert there. No, he's going to actually make double prairie, move his Windgate, and play his Shaitan Demon next to the well, so that the Shaitan Demon is actually protected from anything that KT might have, like Wind Soldiers and Soul Drains, for example.
Yeah. Very nice use of the Windgate there. And Wind Soldier come down on the elemental, that was to be expected. Now the question is, do we see the monk come down this turn just to block, or maybe?
Well, J0k3se has two options. Either he can go for the face with the demon, or he can just get rid of this daring adventurer and play a monk, hit in the face.
Yeah.
And
Flash Wind.
he's just going for the face. He's walking all the way, putting KT down to 3, and he's got a Windgate, not going to help him.
Well, there's the monk prayer, but I think it's a little bit too late.
Oh, he could have
Another
also
Imperial
used the
Drain.
monk to get rid of the follower and kill the Shaitan Demon. Maybe buying some time if J0k3se doesn't have a Wind Soldier.
Yeah. We see though, in hand is the Orodrim Monk and the Soul Drain, so next turn he will be able to just hit in with the follower and then Soul Drain and play the monk afterward.
Yeah, that's the only
So-
problem with the play that KT does. He is
Lethal
placed.
for J0k in hand, and I don't think he
Yep.
will have a hard time spotting that one.
No, he won't.
Yeah. The well played comes down. And there it is.
And there comes the big 9/9 Zealous Crusader. And J0k3se going for the for the BM play by soldering his own follower. And that
What
is GG.
GG. It wasn't really the BM though, if it's lethal, spotting lethal. I don't think there was another way he could do
Well,
it.
no, there was another way. He could have he could have just killed the Daring Adventurer and moved the follower onto his spot. And then play the follower. The monk.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's generally what people do, because people generally soul drain other people's creatures, not their own.
Well, I kind of have a different mentality since I've been playing a lot of green-yellow rush. And with that deck, you always want to clear off your own creatures to free up
Yeah.
attack paths using Feed the Forest. I don't know if you've been a fan of the deck or...
No,
out of
I've
it,
never
but-
been a fan of the green-yellow rush. It's like, when you play against it, it's like you're playing solitaire.
Yeah.
It's not
Well-
that fun.
Well, I like Solitaire, but maybe that's just me.
Well, I like solitaire as well, but I don't like playing solitaire in my Faeria game. Anyways,
enough.
round number 3, KT coming with the green deck, which is
Yeah.
way more defensive. So, J0k3se might be in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, Mono Green usually considered as one of the best decks to defend against Yellow Rush because of so many taunts and so many heals. It's just very hard for the Yellow Rush player to actually have an impact and get out Crusaders in time. And then there, of course, is the Voice of Truth, which also makes the life of a Crusader miserable. Now, Eridon, I think, though, is quite slow for defending against Yellow Rush. I don't think you will get much value out of it just by simply playing it and killing it off. It's
Yeah,
gonna
now
take too long.
J0k3se does manage to make a big bridge and get his prey online. And gets a soul drain, which doesn't really help him right now.
Yeah.
His hand, well, he's got a choking stance for if a willow comes down, or if a Wind Elemental comes down. But other than that,
Yeah.
not that
It's
great.
a strong opener for J0k. Again, the Air Elemental doing great work, and then the follower being able to step over on the forest, activating that prayer, getting in the 2 face damage. Oof. I don't know if KT can stabilize.
Oh, and Well, I do
Maybe.
think that KT can stabilize. He only got one hit in. J0k3se is probably going to get 1-2 more hits in, but slowly, like J0k3se, what KT can do is just create a land, kill the air elemental using his Verduran Force, and then Voice of Truth his Verduran Force back to 7 life, so it can't get Wind Soldiered.
Yeah.
Now he is opting to just go for the follower kill. So he will take a little bit more damage. Is he contemplating feeding? No.
Is he? I don't know. Maybe he wanted to get Runen out. Oof, I don't know.
No, he was hovering over it, but decides to go against it. And J0k3se now getting the Titan Demon, which is actually a great pickup here, because that 5 attack and 4 life makes it a very sturdy creature. And it deals a lot of damage.
And actually locking killing time completely out of the left side here with that double land.
Now, KT getting the Grove Guardian, which is also basically a savior for him, because it can't get chokinged, and it can only be basically be Last Nightmare or double Wind Soldiered, which you don't really want to do.
Yeah. I wonder though, is he going for the Runen block or is he going for the Grove Guardian? Because he could also just dash in the Runen and block. But he's going for the Grove Guardian, it looks like.
He is going to get the Grove Guardian online, and to be honest, I don't mind it that much. The Runen play would have also been nice, but he would probably just move a step aside and just kill the Verduran anyways.
Yeah.
And this way, KT has a sturdy creature still on the field. He can play Runen next turn if you like, if he wants.
Yeah, and Runen's just a card that's been very, very heavily discussed in the past few days, because some people have the impression that it's unfair to certain decks if they have to play against Runen, because it's just so obnoxious to deal with, really. If your opponent has a
Doomsday.
Ooh.
You don't see that much Doomsday that much anymore in Yellow Rush.
Yeah.
You
However,
did see it in Green Yellow Rush, but not in Yellow Rush. And well, KT, we're going to see the Voice of Truth. He kind of has to right now. No, we're going to see the Grunin. What do you think about this play?
I guess he really wanted to get Runen out as early as possible. It opens his Verduran Force up to the Soul Drain, but I think he wants to keep the Voice of Truth for potential Zealous Crusader. I think that's going to be his game plan at the moment. And J0k3se just trying to go all in here with the follower, really.
Yeah, J0k3se just wants those orbs hit in to get that Vanguard online.
It lines up very nicely with the Doomsday next turn. If Killing Time should decide to drop another creature this turn.
Yeah, well, the nice thing about him saving the voice... Is he contemplating playing the Voice of Truth? Because one of the nice things about saving the Voice of Truth is that it can deal with those Crusaders that are eventually coming out.
Yeah. On the other hand, though, giving a 7/1 back 6 life doesn't seem too bad.
No, it doesn't, but again, what does the 7/7 do if a 10/10 Crusader comes out?
That's also true.
He is still going for the Voice of Truth. But to be honest, I don't mind this play. He's just going to be very defensive while creating very offensive lands. So next turn or the turn after that, he can start playing big creatures next to J0k3se's Orb.
And now the
J0k3se
Soul
is
Drain.
just going to Doomsday.
Yeah, the Soul Drain being picked up a little too late here for J0k.
Now KT does have the Runin. However, that Runin just one Faeria short of playing it in his face.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
we
just
see Grove come down, and oof, that's a bit rough for J0k to deal with.
Indeed, especially with the way that his lands are positioned.
However,
Windgate
is a great pickup here. Now he can just play the Windgate in the middle to block and then summon a demon on the right of his orb, and oof, Grove Guardian's gonna have a hard time dealing with the demon.
Yeah, indeed. However, one thing about the demon though is that if KT manages to get another good taunt creature like that wood elemental,
Oh yeah, great pickup here.
well, sadly for him, J0k3se does have the answer, which comes in the form of choking sense. But if he can just delay that Chitin Demon, J0k3se is only on 10 life. Like, he can only survive that for 5 turns.
Yeah,
He is on the clock.
and Wood Elemental comes down.
Yeah, now we are most likely just going to see the choking sands come down. And,
Ooh.
oh, he gets
Freya.
the Freya.
Great pickup here. And then I think he's running Flash Winds as well. So if we could see a Flash Wind next turn, perhaps that would also be great. Oh,
Ooh, he can actually, well, he can Flash Wind his Chitin Demon away from the Grove Guardian. But I
Yeah.
don't think it does that much.
you don't
It
think?
saves. No, it maybe gets him 2 extra Faeria, but no, that Grove Guardian can just tap on the middle land. If Killing Time gets another big Willow or something, or another Wood Elemental, then he can just play it in front of his Orb or in front of that Chitin Demon, delaying him even further.
It is 2 collections though.
It is 2 collections, but he also only has 1 card
Oh.
in his hand.
And the feet.
Ooh. Emperor's Command. Now that is actually... Here we can see probably the comeback. Because
Yeah,
he
what
can
a-
actually just play the Rune in Relentless in front of the Chitin Demon, play a Emperor's Command to heal himself back to 10.
He can
Or 9.
also play it aggressive if you want
And he also has the Rune Guidance.
Yeah. So,
So he
great
does heal
pickup
back
here.
to 10. Indeed.
Oh. I'm not a fan of this line. I think I would have preferred playing it aggressive. Because, as you can see, J0k playing with the demon is now down to
Well-
6 life in total.
Yeah, but also don't forget that J0k3se is on 7 Faeria, so he could have had, if he had a Wind Soldier and, for example, a follower or a monk in his hand, he would have had lethal if he didn't block.
Well, I assumed he would heal with the command as well.
That's true. Now he's just going to soul drain and
Soul
sacrifice his
Drain trade
demon,
looks like the trade, yeah.
and then a Death Walker, and now
Oof.
KT is in a lot of trouble again.
Yes, indeed.
He has to heal. But the problem is, if he heals, then he doesn't really have anything else. Well, he can rune in feed, at least. For some
Runen Feed
extra
is an
Faeria.
option. But Runen being a temp 10 is not going to be relevant here, I think. It's just... He needs a taunt, or it's...
Well, no,
it's
but
almost game.
it is extra
Well-
card. It is extra card draw
Yeah,
and extra Faeria, so that's why he's doing it.
Stalker picked up. And we see Command again to heal. And Runen being played aggressive now.
Yeah, now can J0k3se?
Freya is a good start.
Yeah, it's a very good card. Windgate is not a good
Okay.
card.
Yeah.
Follow
And-
is, but comes down
Damn,
to
what a
it.
close game.
Oh, so close, but
That would have been a win
J0k3se
soldier
manages
instead
to
of
pull through.
Wingate.
oh, I mean, J0k3se, KT manages to pull through with the 10-10 rune in.
Yeah. And those heals really showing how annoying the green matchup can be for the yellow player. Although it looked
Indeed.
like J0k would have won a couple of times by now, those healings kept Killing Time in the game.
Yeah, but to be honest, these were quite fun matches because none of these guys played really meta decks.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, it is a best of 5, so we are going for the final game. Now, what will KT bring this time? Or J0k3se bring this time? And it is blue. The count considered count to 2 green.
Yeah. So in this potentially final game, we see J0k coming out with the what it looks to be a blue jump with Archons. It's very popular on ladder at the moment because Archon is just another sturdy 4/4 that can
Charge 2, yeah.
Yeah, that can charge 2 and get the double collection, and that is so important to get the wave crush reduction.
Now, Katie does have a good start with that Wood Elemental. However, J0k3se also has a great start with double Triton Warrior and gets the Aurora pickup.
Yeah, great start here for both players. Now Grove Guardian picked up, which is going to play into Aurora a bit, but usually you don't want to Aurora 4/4 anyways. Well, we'll have to see though how this one plays out.
Now, what do you think about J0k3se playing the Toad on the right? Like, it does prevent the Wood Elemental from moving up, but I don't think that was what he feared. And
I mean, if
This-
you want to get a sunken tower, like a mobility effect, you can push in the 4/4 and then potentially double collect. So maybe he was looking at that line. As of now, I think Mapmaker trade, is the obvious choice.
yeah,
Killing
now
Time has an answer with Deepwood Stalker, however.
indeed, and also gets another Wood Embrace.
We'll have to see though if he can draw all of his commands in time to get rid of the library, because usually Green doesn't have a great time dealing with library, as they cannot pressure the orb fast enough and usually don't have that much mobility to draw to efficiently deal with the library or even get in trade range. Another great pickup here is the Phantasm. I wonder
Indeed.
if J0k doesn't even collect this turn and just stays here.
Well, to be honest, I would what I would think he would do is just create a lake on the right side of Aurora, move Aurora up there,
Yeah,
force a movement trick out from Katie, and perhaps play a Forbidden Library. Although he is contemplating on just playing the Warrior, but I think the Library is better. Just get a Library online as early as possible. Actually, he
Yeah.
has enough Faeria to also play the Triton Warrior, so... And very nice of just putting it out of range of this Wood Elemental, just in case that KT has a buff.
yeah. Also placed nicely around Grove Collar by placing the 4/4 on the lake, so Killing Time not able to make clear forest and then teleport the Wood Elemental to clear off, potentially clear off the library. So yeah, it's a rough spot for the green player here, because what do you do really against the library?
Indeed, he right now doesn't have the answers, and well, even after one turn, that library is already Value Town, so he is just going to play the Deepwood Stalker, kill off Aurora, and that Triton Warrior now just has a clean trade with Wood Elemental, and he can even play the Mirror Phantasm after that.
Yeah, that's looking very great.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to collect. He has the library already to do it, so it's all about board control right now. And
Yeah.
this Mirror Phantasm is providing that. So now even a Elderwood Embrace won't be enough to just kill off this the changed frog.
I mean, he could potentially Elderwood and Guidance, but I don't know. Then you're all in committed in one creature. It's Killing Time is in a very rough spot here.
Yeah. Now he is going to do just that, and most likely going to feed him afterwards. Just get a little bit Faeria back. Nope, he's not. And that opens him up actually just for Frogify.
I would even consider just stepping up and dropping the Mystic Beast at this point, because that way you're set up to double collect and then
Indeed. Yeah,
you
I
can
think
Frogify any threat.
I think
next turn.
just stepping up and playing the Mystic Beast is the better option here.
Oh, you can even play
Ooh,
the Water
Water
Elemental
Elemental.
+1.
Before that, yep. That's exactly what he's going to do.
So
He's
yeah,
just going
great
to
line.
flood the board.
J0k developing a strong board here, and whew, for the green player it's usually rough to come back from such a board state, because
now-
once the blue player gets ahead and he gets to double collect and have the library tick, usually green can't outvalue or can't keep up with that.
Indeed, and there's Colossus. Now he still has the Frogify to just frog this Grove Guardian. Kill it off with the Water Elemental, perhaps stepping up with the Mystic Beast.
Oh, decides to trade and drop
Oh,
a
he just
Beirut.
decides Beirut. Well,
And
to be
this-
honest,
yeah,
Beirut is going to be a very big problem there because he's going to turn those 3 forests into lakes.
yeah, and we can say safely goodbye, Thyrian Golem.
And for
You're
those
not going to see much play this game.
who don't know what Beirut does, well, you just saw it. He turns everything, all adjacent lands, into lakes. And this is a big problem for Katie because Green kind of wants those forests.
Yeah,
and
they
he
kind
can
of do.
just move up with the Beirut, and Green has no answers to this.
It is quite strong against Green, and unless Killing Time has tacked in some spicy blue cards to surprise us here, I don't see a comeback of him at this point. And Arkan's also a 6/6 by now. Yeah, this is looking rough. Really rough.
Yeah. Now, do you think about playing our game? Well, he is going to play the Arkham, but what do you think about just creating another lake next to the Beirut and playing the Wave Crash Colossus next to the face just to start the pressure?
I don't think you should be concerned with pressure when you have double Frogify and the library on board. As long as you keep board control, I don't think you have to pressure really.
Fair enough.
There's no way you lose regardless, right?
Yeah, I don't see KT coming back, especially not with the Frogify in hand and 2 Wave Crash Colossi now.
Both at 5 cost. And they're getting cheaper as time ticks on.
And he can even move the Gabriel Archon up as well. And
Yeah.
just have so much pressure next turn.
So we see another Archon come down. Probably to contest that Verduran Force as well.
Well, he's
And
going
even
to
the
use
Wave
the
Crash.
Wave Crash Colossus to
Yeah.
contest that further enforce. And yeah, Green has a lot of trouble dealing with flooded boards.
Yeah. Killing
And-
Time knows his time is over.
His-
Hits
yeah.
J0k3se with the greetings. And
Yeah, this
I
is
guess
cheating.
I guess we'll see another game.
Indeed. So, this is turning out to be quite a series.
Yeah, the community favorites battling each other.
I know how to because I know how to pick these games because last time I also picked the other game and that was amazing upset with Teddy against Scream. Scream eventually winning that
Yeah.
series.
I remember watching that series. That was a great one to watch.
Oh, that was so amazing.
Yeah.
Now, no giant upsets because they are both good players. They're both not. Both don't really venture into the monthly cup that much. Generally, J0k3se is generally just voted in, and Katie. Has Katie actually been in the monthly cup before? Do you know?
I think he has been for a couple of times. He never got around playing in the end rounds though. But I think he was against the Staples quite a few times
Yeah.
in the first rounds, so that's why. But it looks like there's a blue mirror here, and we'll actually see who gets the library out or who can't answer the library first, because that's usually how these matchups go.
Now, Katie does start with a Gabriel Archon, Gabriel Commander, which is actually a really good card in this matchup, hero matchup.
Yeah. One thing that has made the return of Gabriel Commander possible was the rise of all these 4/4s coming down suddenly. We have Triton Warriors now on blue jump, we have Archons now on blue jump, and the Gabriel Commander really lines up really great against all those creatures, and even against the Charger that's been popular in Yellow Tempo. So yeah, Commander, a great card. Has a great payoff if it doesn't get removed by, let's say, a Cyphers or a Soul Rain early game, and then really can just snowball the game.
Indeed, especially when you can play it so early on. And, well, we will see Katie just do that. Play Gabriel Archon and a Triton Warrior, most likely.
Yeah, and we see another Triton Warrior for both of the players in hand, so most likely we'll see a Toad beat down here, and I'm frankly excited. I can't wait.
That just sounds dirty, a Toad beatdown.
Yeah. Well, 2 commands here, so both of the players are going to be able to deal with the library if it comes down.
Yeah, now J0k3se is actually able to just block off this Gabriel Commander, but he's deciding to not do that, and Perhaps he's going to choose to play the Emperor's Command on the Game Commander just to save this other Triton Warrior. But no, he's not decided
Not going
to
to.
just save
Okay.
it for the library.
I think it was more important for him to block him off collecting from his own well. Because that's another factor that decides this matchup. Getting your Wave Crush discounted is very important. So here
Yeah, that
making
is
the
a
double
very good
neutral.
point.
And Killing Time, as you can see, really wants to get this collection in from the opponent's well. And is now looking great with double warrior set up at both sides respectively.
Yeah, and J0k3se getting the Wave Crush Colossus a little bit too early because he has not collected from KT's wells just yet.
Yeah. So now we were able to see how much work this commander put in. He put so much pressure on J0k that he was forced into making this. Oh, great pickup here. Sunken Tower allows him to push in the Triton Warrior and get the good trade with command. It's really good
Indeed.
for J0k.
That's very good. And now, and another nice thing is that if KT can't play anything, well, we can see that he can play something, but if he wouldn't be able to play anything, then J0k3se next turn could just hop over and play a lake next to his opponent's well.
Yeah, definitely. And
It is,
Water
however,
Elemental-
going to get blocked off.
Yeah,
He can still potentially do it, but I don't think he'll do it.
Archons though might be a card that decides this game, because once you get your Archons triggered, it's very hard for the other blue player to deal with them. Now, granted though, Killing Time is in a very good spot with the double collection setup on the left side, and J0k3se has invested in the mobility, which was 2 Faeria as well, and then he has invested into the Emperor's Command, which was 2 Faeria as well. So he's down on Faeria, and frankly,
And board
I think
control.
it has to come down to playing Mirror Phantasm, I guess, and double collecting this turn. And then you might look at dropping the Wave Crush somewhere near his orb and try to outgrace with the Wave Crush and the Gabriel Archon. He goes
Yeah,
for the
now
draw actually.
Draw and
Oof.
gets another Colossus, and this is looking very bad for J0k3se. And I would have thought that he would go for the Mirror Phantasm play, because he could indeed just use Sunken Tower to indeed collect, create another land, collect from his other well, have 7 Faeria, and just Mirror Phantasm.
Yeah. And then Mirror Phantasm also contests the 4th on the left side.
Yeah, the only issue is that I don't think he would have been able to play the. 1 second. He could have actually moved there. No, he could have actually done that. He could have also cleared the right side. So yeah, missed that opportunity, and now KT is in a very commanding spot.
Yeah. I mean, usually if you fall behind in the mirror matchup, the match is... it's very hard to come back from that, unless you have
Indeed, and
some
especially
cards
when,
like Ninja Toad or...
Battletoads.
Because, you see, with blue you want to be able to have a board to contest, and even without a board, Frogify isn't that great.
Oh,
'cause-
he got the triple Colossus. So bad. And yeah, I think J0k3se knows it. He lost the board control, and those toads are just going to double collect or quattro collect
yeah,
every turn.
we're looking at a potential quadra collection here. And now Killing Time just able to take the value trades.
Oh, and the Frogify.
Well, it's not gonna be that useful since
No, it's not
J0k's
going to be that useful. But
to
if
pull off 7 cost
if
Colossus
J0k3se
3
yeah,
times
if
in a row.
J0k3se finally plays the Colossus, KT has the answer,
Yeah.
and he's just
Oh,
going for board control, double collect,
interesting.
play another warrior.
I think he missed out on a nice value trade though, because Commander could have fit into the 4/4
Indeed.
and then the 4 the other 4/4 could have hit
Yeah,
into the
kind of,
big
indeed, kind of a misplay. He could have just had a 4-1 Triton Warrior left, but in this case, wait, wow, KT's still running the Garudon, the one-off red card, which is actually a really good card in his deck because of the mirror matchups.
Yeah,
It is a way of coming back into the game.
it is indeed.
Oh, another Frogify, and none of these are good Frogify targets. And the Mystic Beast
also not doing work.
No, it's just going to E25. So he has to play the Wave Crash, but as we can see, here's Mr. Frogify.
And of course, Mr. Frogify is always there when you play a big creature. It's the hidden rule of playing Faeria or playing against Blue
It's
Railer.
the same that Radiant only comes into your hand. You only draw Radiance when you have 20 life.
Yeah. I mean, there's no other variable in life. It's just the Frogify always has... Your opponent always has the Frogify, and Radiance always comes when you don't need it.
Indeed, and I think this is pretty much game.
Yeah.
Next turn, KT can just Aurora Mythmaker as well on the Frog, turning it into a 6/6. Just for the lethal, and there we have it.
What do you think of running Shifting Tide as well as Sunken Tower in the blue deck?
Well, to be honest, I don't mind because Shifting Tide it's also card draw, so it can you can just cycle it if you need, and it's another mobility trick.
Yeah, I was just saying it's a uncommon card to run in blue because most people went back to Sunken Tower after the changes to Prophet of Tides.
But again, the problem with Sunken Tower is if you at the end game when you play it and there's a lot of lands, generally Sunken Tower isn't that useful anymore. And the thing about Shifting Tide is it always keeps being useful because of the cycle. So
that's true.
Perhaps he's just running both of a 1-off or 1-off 2-off and the other of a 1-off. Anyways, that's the first match of today, and what a match!
What a series!
Yeah, indeed.
And
so
most importantly, what a red mill deck. I really like that one.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Cappuccino and Aquablood have to say about this. So let's go back to the desk.
3-2 for Killing Time and J0k3se there. What a fantastic match. We got to see some very interesting decks. Cappuccino, you were keeping a close eye on that series. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was tracking that game, making some notes. There were some like huge turning point plays in that series, you know. Sorry, just in the first game even, the Yellow Rush versus the Red Fatigue, you know, at first glance I was like, oh, okay, this looks extremely favored for the Red Fatigue. It's going to go well. But then we saw the Imperial Drain come down and just stop all of the collections from the red player. And, you know, KT got to save up Find His Prayers, and those prayers are just gaining extra Faeria where, you know, J0k wasn't getting to collect. And then, you know, with some nice lines from KT, stopping the double collector, Imperial Guard afterwards, and manages to retake the board with an 8/8 Zealous at the end. But, you know, J0k had a couple opportunities of playing around Daring Adventure, especially after seeing the first one on, like, turn 3. He had knowledge that they were in the deck. He could have played around it a little bit to deny one of the 6/6s that came down later. But that was a pretty interesting match in the first place to see a red fatigue style deck, because it's been a while since we've seen anyone make red that sort of way with the plate bearers.
Yeah, it was a tough game for J0k3se. You know, like you said, the Imperial Drain was actually crucial into stopping J0k3se getting the Faeria he needs to basically react to KT efficiently. Like you said, there was a few little things that could have been done differently. I think there was a move that could have been made with the Hunted Outlaw where you could have moved out of reach of the Daring Adventure to play around it. It was either the last turn or the one before last turn where J0k3se emoted and then he kind of got stuck. He had an opportunity to play Underground Boss to block the Crusader, force the Crusader to attack one of them, hopefully being the Underground Boss, and then next turn he could have set up for a Firestorm clear or whatever came down along with the Hunted Outlaw. So there are a few little things there, but considering that Imperial Drain was such a huge part of KT's win there, I think J0k3se did pretty well.
Yeah, all things considered, even after the emote blunder, the 8/8 Zealous coming down was still going to be a giant threat for J0k3se to have to deal with, so I'm not sure if it necessarily would have gone very differently if he did get to trade or did get to develop the boss. Certainly it would have been better than, not making the attack, but I don't think it was that much of an issue because KT was just so far ahead at that point, I think. But yeah, going into some of the other games, like the Yellow Rush mirror is pretty cool. You got to see Arali get so much value in the Rush mirror because it let you land ramp, and so he got to have the first attacks, and then by the time that KT could reestablish an attacking board, it was too late. It was too low.
Air Elemental has been causing me personally a lot of issues on ladder because I play Blue Jump a lot at the moment, and Yellow Rush is just terrible for Blue Jump with this new Air Elemental Demon Wrangler focus. It's just so much pressure in the early game that sometimes you just can't beat it. It just goes kind of, Explore, Desert, Air Elemental, Follower into Demon Wrangler, and then it's a 5-2, a 4-2, and a 2-1, and then you're just like, oh wow, okay, now there's 3 guys around me. What am I going to do against this? And some decks don't have all the tools to be able to deal with that efficiently. Red, obviously, can deal with that quite nicely, having removal. Yellow being the same, but if you go down to blue, like, what can blue do? Blue has to be on board to be able to do anything like that. So it's a very oppressive opener for Yellow Rush at the moment, and I'm starting to see it becoming quite popular. Gelgoog playing that variation as well. I've bumped into him a few times on ladder recently. What about the next game? How do you feel the next game went?
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much time. The last big highlight I saw was the match where it was, let me just double check, green versus Yellow Rush. So KT on the green deck, he had been sitting back with his Verduran, getting the trades. He eventually finds a Voice of Truth line on Verduran, but he doesn't feed on the Voice, which would have netted him a huge Faeria advantage, and it would have stopped Doomsday from being a power play for J0k. So I don't know if it was just a misplay or whether he was trying so desperately to save it for Runin. Maybe he thought that was just better. I'm not so certain because it did play into the Doomsday, but it's so hard to know nowadays if Yellow Rush has Doomsday or not. If he felt like there was no Doomsday coming down, it certainly makes sense to save it for the Runin because you just wait, you feed on it a couple times, you send it to the enemy orb, and by then it's like a 14-14 and you got tons of value with feeds. So that was the last highlight I had for you.
Yeah, I was curious about that because we were talking about Voice of Truth on the Verdran Force, top it back up to a 7-7, and you had the 5-2 Grove Guardian as well. Because you could have used Feed the Forest on the Voice of Truth to be able to play the Grove Guardian after, and then you have these 2 massive green creatures defending for you, and it just eases off that pressure. I think one of the most curious things about that match for me specifically was the Runin not going in earlier. We talked about this as well. KT had an excellent opportunity to do Guidance Heal up to +5. I think that topped him up to 10. And then just play a Runin for lethal. Because he had an Elderwood in hand. And no matter what resources J0k's invested into that Runin, it paid off for KT because that's resources Yellow Rush isn't using to push damage on your orb or apply pressure to you. So I think he was a turn behind the aggressive Runin play. But overall, he managed to keep J0k3se at bay. It was very close in the end. J0k3se was 3 damage off from finishing him off. So if those 2 heals didn't come, it might have been a completely different match there.
Yeah, just to give some clarity really fast to that, it was J0k with a demon on the well spot with about 4 Faeria he was going into with the ability to draw a +1, and he was on 10 life was KT. And KT had 6 Faeria, so he can rune and feed, go up to 8 Faeria, play command to heal to go up to 14 life, which means there's no possible way for the Yellow Rush to have lethal with the amount of cards he had. I think he had 0 cards in hand. And KT could have summoned the 8/8 then in front of the orb of J0k, who was only on 6 life at the time, so it would have just one-shot him on the following turn, not even Soul Drain saving him.
Yeah, and he had Elderwood in hand, so if there was double Soul Drain, there was another pump. I think he had 2 Elderwoods in hand at that point. So that was just clean. That was just a clean win there. But decided to go for defensive rune and maybe afraid of something. I don't think there was anything to be afraid of, like we just said, but, in tournament, sometimes you play not to win because you're just so afraid of getting knocked out of tournament. And, it's a nervous position to be in, especially round 1 being streamed. You don't want to make too many mistakes. You want to make sure you stay in the series and take that win. But I think we're going to go to a break very shortly, guys. So we're going to be back with another match coming from round 2. So don't go anywhere. We will be back very shortly.
Alright guys, that's it for this time. I had a lot of fun playing, even if I got kicked out quite early. Congratulations to Killing Time. There was some really intense and cool games. All of them were really fun, except for the Blue Mirror, as expected. I'm looking forward to maybe playing in some more monthly cups. I had a lot of fun, and I'll try to qualify again. And I'll make another video if it comes to that. And good night, and enjoy Oversky.